Reboot Bug Fables. What if Dr. HB joins Team Snakemouth? Author's note: this story covers only the events of the first chapter of the game. At the time of this story's inception, I was unfamiliar with the full lore of Bug Fables, the Everlasting Sapling. The robot girl Mach 001 will already have the nickname Miss K. Everything began exactly the same for Kabbu until Kina arrived. The praying mantis appeared unexpectedly to take her younger brother Maki away, leaving the noble green beetle entirely alone. Kabbu stood in the Adventurers Association building in the Bugaria outskirts, watching them depart, realizing he needed to find new teammates to fulfill his quest. He first noticed Artis, the tall praying mantis who resembled a pink and white flower, remaining busy with his paperwork. Kabbu then attempted to speak with Team Ant, but they were preoccupied. Finally, he approached Zisp, the dark red wasp with a scar over one eye who usually served as Team Muthiva's bodyguard. Zisp only manned the front desk when his boss wasn't around. Zisp was surprisingly helpful. You know, K.I.L.L.E might know someone new who's looking for a team, he suggested, referring to the blue beetle keeping an eye on the mission board nearby. Kabbu thanked him and headed in K.I.L.L.'s direction. But a commotion stopped him in his tracks. Ahead is a very tall bee girl was using a taser to zap the ant guards who were trying to block her path to the gate of Bugaria outskirt. A small, spherical robot companion zipped around her, vibrating with what seemed to be pure mechanical fury. The pair were clearly making a dramatic exit from the headquarters. Kabbu hid behind a pillar, his noble resolve momentarily shaken. He didn't know what to do. Should he simply let them escape? Should he quietly go find more guards to help? Or maybe, just maybe, he should follow them and see where they went? Outside in the Bugaria outskirts, the small, dark grey robot's eye glowed a furious red as she grumbled indignantly. Miss K was a Mach 001 model, a simple, round bee-boop with the insignia printed on both sides. Slow down, killer, Dr. HB commanded. Her slight limp a result of trying to match the robot's angry pace. There will be plenty of battles up ahead. Miss K changed color instantly, shifting from red to a normal yellow. Then, as she registered the doctor's pained limp and various wounds, it turned a sad blue. The little robot knew exactly why the old bee hurt. We can't stop here, HB explained quickly, cutting off the unasked question. She didn't want to talk about the wounds again, and Miss K wasn't going to make her. The robot simply turned her eye back to angry red at the situation, yelling, "Whatever, if you won't sit down after you walked all the way from Bee Kingdom to the Lost Sands and into the Ant Kingdom." A voice from behind them suddenly screamed out, getting their attention, "What kind of sorcery is that?" When the two stopped to look back, they saw a very shocked Kabbu staring at Miss K's changing eye color. The doctor straightened up, pushing out her chest proudly. "Allow me to introduce myself," HB said, adjusting her taser weapon. "I am Dr. HB, and this is my creation, K.I.L.L.E. I mean, Miss K, the super-intelligent bee-boop Mach 001. Miss K turned her suspicious purple eye onto the beetle. "What do you want? A fight?" she demanded. "Oh, please do. I am so bored." Dr. HB glanced unhappily at Miss K as the robot complained, adding something under her breath that the beetle couldn't quite pick up. Kabbu quickly snapped out of his shock and tried to talk sense into the two, attempting to persuade them to return to the Adventurers Association where it was safe. Miss K, however, took that suggestion as an order or a challenge. Her eye glowed red with excitement as a small cannon popped out of her frame, making Kabbu instinctively leap into a defensive fighting position. Before the doctor could put a stop to the escalation, the out-of-control robot used her TP to fire a honey shot. Kabbu quickly dodged the attack as the old bee yelled at her creation by her full name, "Connect Insect Laser Encoder Radar to halt." But it was too late. With a much louder yell of, "Fake out," Miss K changed tactics and came in with a powerful tackle. Dr. HB saw the collision coming, groaned audibly, and simply sat down on a nearby rock to rest her poor, tired feet. No one can best my robot of the future. HB yelled confidently across the battlefield, following it up with an evil, cackling laugh. Horn and plastic collided here and there as the happy robot girl commented mentally to herself. Boy, he is way stronger than he looks. I need to be careful and not get hit at all, or I am going to lose the doctor's so-called plastic tough shell. Then the little, annoying laughing robot girl flew way too high into the air. Kabbu watched her ascend, asking himself how this situation had escalated so quickly. He commented quietly, wondering if there was really nothing he could do but sit and wait for it to end. Then an idea came to the noble beetle: he would taunt Miss K, challenging her to come down and face him properly. It worked perfectly. Miss K.I. turned a fierce red, and she came sky-bombing down. The beetle stood his ground. Kabbu timed his dodge perfectly. He was just about to counterattack the robot when he saw two crucial things. First, Miss K.S.I. suddenly shifted to a horrified blue, freezing her mid-air. Second, he noticed a little seedling creature about to ram right into the bored Dr. HB's back as she sat resting on the rock. Thinking fast, Kabbu zoomed across the field and saved the doctor just in time, yanking her out of the way. This sudden move utterly shocked both of the girls. The seedling, missing its target, continued to roll aimlessly past them. Miss K quickly regained her composure. Her eye turned red as she fired a supercharged honey shot to end the problem, following it up immediately with a tackle for good measure. Silence fell over the three adventurers as Kabbu helped the visibly shaken old bee to her feet, noticing the small new crack in her glasses. "Thank you, young beetle," HB said, steadying herself. Miss K.I. was still a sad blue as she quickly apologized for her lapse in concentration and for not keeping watch for bad guys. HB understood the lapse and gently petted the robot's round shell in reassurance. After a moment, the doctor's expression shifted, and she offered a deal to Kabbu. Miss K seemed to know exactly what the offer was, judging by the way her eye quickly turned a suspicious purple and the way she visibly recoiled. Kabbu was curious. As the old bee smiled, looking up to something with a mischievous glint visible through her cracked glasses, she began, "I couldn't help but overhear a conversation nearby with the Queen's royal blade, Sir Maki. About you not having a partner." She leaned in conspiratorially. "You could be the first bug in Bugaria to get a super AI for a teammate. If you help me with my quest looking for the artifact." Kabbu, still confused by the day's events and eager to find a team, simply answered with a dumbfounded, "Yes." It was only after he shook her hand that he remembered to ask, "Wait, is that even allowed? And what artifact is it? Also, I don't really care about the fame." Miss K laughed, finding it very funny. "We already shook on it, didn't we?" HB replied with a grin. "Nothing in the rules says a super AI isn't allowed as a partner. Also, don't worry about the explorer permit, I will deal with all of that when we get back." With the new team formed under unusual circumstances, they started their trek out of the Bugaria outskirts and towards the Snakemouth Den, the first stop on their shared adventure.